Boys, girls, ladies, and gents, we're coming at you with another video for Rise of Kingdoms. I am finally back in America. We are finally back to recording stuff. I know I'm looking absolutely fantastic today. And we are coming at you with the two new engineering commanders. There is also an epic engineering commander, which I may cover, I may not cover. It depends on how I'm feeling. Without further ado, guys, I'm going to go through these commanders, look at their abilities, assess whether or not I like them, and I'm going to talk about the current state of ranged commanders in the game right now. So get some popcorn, buckle up, and we're going to go through some stuff. First commander I'm looking at, Stefan III of Moldova. Don't see a lot of Moldovan commanders. Moldova has done pretty well historically, so it's nice to see one of the Stefans. There's a ton of Stefans around that whole Slavic / Balkan area. You know, pretty cool. Pretty cool to see. I like that. First ability, Victor of Vasuli. The current target of this troop takes range damage, 800 if it's at ranged. That's okay, I guess. Range direct damage. This is different than skill damage, I'm pretty sure. Mighty Heals itself. I don't know if Mighty Heals is really going to stick on, but whatever. No rest for the righteous. This commander siege units get 35% defense. Awesome. Movement speed, I don't really care about. Less counterattack damage, we love it. Whenever a troop launches a basic attack, counterattack, range smite, range combo attack damage, bonuses reduction. Okay, interesting. So the damage reduction is probably like the main thing. 25% damage on a 3-second CD. I mean, this is okay, I guess. It's not like bad, but it's all right. Whenever this commander's troop launches a range basic attack, has a 40% chance to gain 2% in 15 seconds, stacks up to 15 times. So 30% attack minus like 5 to 7% defense. That's pretty good. I don't know necessarily. I guess they're reducing defense just in case you get swarmed on to punish you a little bit more. So it's going to reward positioning a lot more. Cosman Forest. This deals 10% more range skill damage. Whenever the troop deals range skill damage, has a 20% chance to deal range direct damage up to 3 enemy troops near the target, damage factor 500. Every additional attack reduces the damage to each target by 15%. Okay, that's pretty solid. So every 10 seconds, basically, I mean, like maybe every 15 seconds tops, we're gonna do 1200 damage factor. That's okay. I mean, I'm not like super sold on him. He looks fine. I just don't see how he'd be better than like, I think Gonzalo is better, right? This is direct 800. I mean, like the range factor brings it up to 1200. And if it's an exposed troop, then it heals itself. Maybe the healing, keeping it topped up is more important. I'm not super sold on this guy. He doesn't look particularly fantastic to me, but I could be mistaken. Again, I don't use siege units, so there could be something else here, but I remember looking at Gonzalo and thinking, oh wow, this guy's fantastic. Stefan III just doesn't really give me that. I don't think he's going to be probably on the top two. Next is going to be John Hunyadi. Hunyadi's, he's the guy who made the, is he the guy who made the modern day tank? No, that was, is that Zizka? Hunyadi coming out here with another engineering troop. I like the support tree a whole lot. Actually, I guess the support tree is a lot tankier. I actually don't think I like it that much now that I think about it, because you're usually not taking skill damage on this. If you're taking skill damage, you're already toast. Although having extra rage is really nice. First ability, Raven's Wings. Deals range direct damage to a target troop, damage factor 900 if ranged. Okay, for the next 3 seconds, the commander's troop deals 20% more range skill damage. Could be okay. I guess this makes it need to be a primary, which I don't really like a ton. This commander's siege units gain 30% attack, and we get rage 15% faster. Okay, that's fantastic. Whenever this commander's troop uses an active skill, it has a 20% chance to deal extra direct damage to its target. Chance to trigger is increased by 40% if the target is not within melee range. Oh, I mean, yeah. Okay, cool. Okay, so every rotation is probably dealing an extra 300 damage factor. I mean, that's okay, right? Less than 50% remaining, 40% chance, and gain 30 rage. So Knight of the Noon Bell, I'm not super duper sold on. I mean, there's not a huge reason, because you're not really diving like for any kind of objective. So I don't know why you'd ever be below 50% units remaining. But 40% damage is a fantastic amount. I don't know if it makes sense to go below 50%. Like ever. Oh my god, wait, it's 40% damage to troops with less than 50% remaining? Oh, this is like Belisarius' fourth ability. Wait, this is fantastic. Oh, that's really, really, really strong. That's really strong. Whenever you use an active skill, okay, so this dude's a must-have. Oh, he's sold. So I'm sold on. You have to pick this guy up. So Hunyadi is basically an auto invest. And then if we were to look at the regular game, because I want to say, like right now people are using Margaret Gonzalo. So this is going to be extra normal damage, and Gonzalo deals smite damage as well. So the Margaret Gonzalo is going to be one of the marches. I guess you'd want to run Stefan III and you'd want to run Hunyadi, right? Because I mean, like, Babur is not going to want to be run. I mean, like, does anybody want to invest in Babur already? I mean, like, he's not horrible. Maybe I'd want to run Babur still. Okay, Anyway, Hunyadi looks fantastic, but he's not a smite damage commander. So I mean, like, at the end of the day, Margaret Gonzalo probably still looks to be like the match. Running Hunyadi with either Stefan III or trying to shoehorn Babur somewhere in there, if you already have Babur Margaret, seems like it could be okay. It really looks like Margaret Gonzalo is probably still the best. Personally, my current opinion on engineering commanders is I have seen engineering commanders doing absolutely wonderfully fantastic. My issue is engineering commanders are not flexible. So when we look at the open field, let's take a quick look over here where we had fighting. So when we were fighting in this zone before we had overtaken it, we had a lot of fighting probably around like these areas. And in these areas, we had like a whole bunch of forts, like all bunch of stuff was fighting, and we are flag to flag, and you know, we would ball up at our flag and we'd push into their flag, and they'd ball up at their flag and then push into our flag, right? And when it comes to that flag to flag combat, being able to put like 10 archer towers here as we ball up and push in and they try to push in, fantastic. Awesome trades. Awesome in every capacity of the word. However, when it comes to pass opening and you trying to come down to fight over here, range sucks in every capacity, right? Some whale is going to random TP around, see your range marches, and absolutely diddle you. You have no flexibility when it comes to engineering marches, and that's one of your biggest issues. If it is your first or second march, your engineering commanders are not going to help you. You can farm KP, hypothetically. In some world, you can farm KP. However, if it's a very dynamic KPK, you are out of luck. Not only are you out of luck, you have to figure out how you're going to get your requirements, right? If you guys are consistently diving into enemy territory and your enemies are consistently diving into your territory, you need movement speed and you need flexibility. If you guys are fighting flag to flag and you guys are just balled up fighting each other, fighting to the death or refreshing it like at orange or something like that and going back and forth, your siege march is going to do really well. When it comes to altars or ruins, your siege march is going to do fantastically. But when it comes to dynamic combat, which some of these KVKs are exclusively dynamic combat, your range march will suck. So as your first march, I would not run ranged, right? If you're looking at Gonzalo and Margaret as your first march coming to Season of Conquest, you're crazy. You should not do that in any capacity. There are content creators like Mr. Siege, and there are other content creators that show the exceptional lengths that Siege players will go to get awesome reports, and it is awesome that they get such fantastic KP. I'm not saying they're bad, and I'm not saying they're wrong. I'm saying it's inflexible. And this game is a lot about adaptability and future-proofing. We saw some really fantastic buffs coming out for range command, right? Range commanders used to have a 10-second pack time. Now they have a second pack time. That's a crazy ass buff. That buff is really big and added a ton of flexibility to range comms. But your range comms can be buffed or they can be debuffed. You can have good commanders come out, or you can have really bad commanders come out. It's one of the main reasons why we focus on all three troop types. The issue is one, for armaments, range commanders only work off of one troop type, and they only work off of one formation. So you have to get V formation, and you have to get it for siege units. If you don't do those two things, you don't have anything else. So if you're opening all your armament chests, and you're saying V formation, V formation, V formation, you're not gonna have the wedge formation or the arch formation that you need for your other marches, right? Look at all of these different formations I have for it. And don't get me wrong, I have like okay stuff when it comes to V formation. Obviously I haven't rolled this, I haven't put any stones into it, right? But some of these like double inscriptions I have on my Gonzalo aren't bad. I like him, and one day I would like to run something like Gonzalo Margaret, or perhaps the guys that have just come out. It is really important to remember, it's just not flexible. And flexibility is the name of the game when it comes to Rise of Kingdoms and future-proofing. Are the new siege comms good? Yeah, they look pretty good. Are they better than Margaret Gonzalo? I don't know. Immediate thought is, number one, Gonzalo and Margaret are easier to invest in. You're gonna have more just random Gonzalo and Margaret heads laying around. If it was a vacuum and you had 1,400 sculptures go to your head, you have to pick Gonzalo Margaret, or you have to pick the new guys. The new guys may be slightly better. You're probably just gonna have more Gonzalo Margaret laying around, and therefore I'd be more likely to want them. Especially if one of them is gonna have to come out of MGE. Like, I just don't want to be fighting at MGE for it, right? Like, Hearts of Desire is already gonna rip both of these guys, so it's really not that big of a deal. If it is your first or second march, I would not take engineering under any circumstance, okay? It is important to maintain a very flexible account. For your sixth march, if you already have 2 inf, 2 cav, 1 arch, and you're looking for march number 6, especially if you're a free-to-play player that is generally not seeing your 6th march, having an inflexible march as your 6th march is probably fine, right? Like, it's okay if you see like a bunch of flag combat and you want to have like cheap, really fantastic reports. then boom, plop out your Archer March. I think it's a completely fine move, and I think it's a good idea. I saw Socks, which is a fantastic FTP player. You guys should definitely check him out. Socks recently invested into Heraclius, and he did that so he could be able to random port around. Random porting means that you have to go back and forth less, and it means that, you know, you're not going to get swarmed down. That's a good use of your sculptures too. Personally, I will be investing into a Siege March for my 6th March. I think, you know, if I teleport around, like, I think Heraclius or not, I think I'm about to get, like, railed. I don't think there's any dimension where they see, like, anybody sees me in the open field, knows who I am, and doesn't random teleport until they can let me have it. But I think these Siege Marches are good. I just don't think they're the best. And I know I've harped on it a lot. It's just they're very inflexible, and you guys should focus on your 5 March before you focus on the cool, like, small niche things in this game. Anyway, guys, I hope that was not too much of a ramble on the new Siege commanders and my idea of Siege in the meta right now. Hope you guys have an absolutely fantastic day. If you guys enjoy content like this, please be sure to like, follow, subscribe, all that good stuff. If you guys want coaching, I do coaching on stream for 35 bucks a session. I do coaching off stream for 75 bucks a session. If you guys are interested in that type of thing, go to the Discord in the description below and you guys make a ticket. Other than that, guys, have yourselves an absolutely fantastic day, and I'll see y'all later. Bye.